So we're back over in Miami Beach today, looking at the saltwater pond. There's been some dynamic changes over time, but let's go inside and take a look. The first things you're going to notice is that the mangroves have grown really tall. I mean, if I actually got in there, that mangrove is about as tall as I am. That's now 5 foot. When we first put it in there, it was probably no more than 30 inches. And the other mangrove back in the other corner, that one's grown in super well as well. Nice and tall in there, nice and beefy. The coralline algae on the bottom of the pond is doing super well, and you can see some of the fish have really grown. That flamingo tang has got to be, I don't know, 4 pounds. The 2 stingrays, they've grown exponentially. Really a soft coral dominated. You can see some big leathers. You can see some green Japanese sarcophyton leather corals there. Lots of star polyps and zoanthids. Blue tangs, there's a yellow tang, there's a bunch of chromis, some clowns, a convict tang. And really it's coming together nicely, but not a huge population more of fish, but it really has settled in well. I think one of the most impressive things is the way the mangroves have grown, so extensively over time and settled in and grown into their pots in a really big way. All of the background of getting this pond in place with all the piping and the filtration that ran out to the filtration room in the garage has been just a massive undertaking to get that into play, to create, really a biologically stable environment. There's a whole series of pipes that run from the center of the pond, around the perimeter of the pond where the water returns in, and then this line set with the drainage and the returns runs straight down and then into the garage back there. So basically we have the opposite of what you would have in a normal reef aquarium. Normally the sump is below the aquarium and the aquarium is above the sump. Well, we did the converse here. So you've got your DELTEC protein skimmer right here, doing super well. Oh, look at that beautiful scum right there. That's wonderful. You have your fluidized media reactor there, and you got your fluidized calcium reactor operating right now. We've got our full array of test kits. We've got some clear water scrubbers running over here now. This great little split air conditioner in here. So this room I can run at about 74 degrees constantly. You have your aqua ultraviolet sterilizer right here operating. You have your ozone reactor and ozone functioning right there. You have your DI RO filter with the DI cartridges on there, giving purified water to the space. And then even out through the wall here, we have pipes that go through the wall to the chiller and then back into the house. So there's actually a chiller running outside right now, keeping the pond also cold, plus this room cold, plus the ambient temperature in the house. There is a heater too, just in case. Originally, you never know what the temp profile is going to be. You're in Florida, but there is a titanium heat element right there, and that also is important in case they want to keep the house super cold. Who knows? Some people want to keep their house at 65 degrees, and that's too cold for a marine reef pond. I still have the original 4 CHEMI-PURE Grandes. There's a 5th one over in that corner over there. That really got the pond super crystal clear. So we're actually pushing water into this area here that's flowing into the sump. It's a closed loop filtration. So there's 2 strainers underneath a rock area with a barrier in there and some mesh on it so crabs and snails and stuff like that couldn't get through. But those 2 intakes are pulling in, going straight to the pump, and then recirculating back into the pond. So your massive current is where you see that coming through. So we do have 2 dedicated Pentair pumps in it that are digital, and you can ramp them up or ramp them down on speed, and that gives us all the current that we really need in such a large body of water, which is 2,000 gallons. We want wanted to automatically feed the pond without having to just use the little simple feeder that's there. So we have liquid feeds going into the pond. They're in this beautiful little refrigerator up here. So this is automatically going off several times a day in the daytime hours. And that food goes and drains over there by the intake siphon back in the corner. You can see the pipes up there high. The food will go into there and by gravity go out of the middle of the pond under that white rock. So it's getting directed two different directions. It gives the food to the fish on an automatic basis, and that's what helps us really keep the anthias and other fish like that that are really planktonic feeders. So they're constantly feeding all the time when they're in the ocean. You've got a retention curve here. You got a drain for the sump right there. So if anything spilled inside here or there was a drip or whatnot, it would go out into the drainage and not onto the floor into the garage. All of this was on blueprint, and we made modifications in here to help facilitate getting good communication. You can see a Cisco repeater right there for the Apex unit, so we can see on our telephones and control even what we're doing for the feeds or different elements of what we want to monitor. Temperature obviously is the main one, power disruption, stuff like that. People couldn't even imagine, how do you keep that pond running? Well, this is a lot that makes it successful, helps to facilitate stability and a really healthy coral reef pond in your home. It's an open pond, is what it is. Too bad we didn't have a little window to see down the length of it, but it's been super cool and a lot of fun in creating this indoor saltwater reef pond here on Miami Beach. Remember to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.